Hello guys, this is Julia Marcos and today we're going to talk about the changes introduced by European Solidarity Corps program for 2025. Similar to Erasmus Plus, there are no grand changes, but as we have already seen, the devil is in the details. I also have both good news for you and bad news, so stay tuned for the whole video to learn all the details because it might impact the work of your organization next year. Let's start with the good news. So the good news is that the budget for 2025 was increased. Initially, the program of 2021-2027, it forecasted the budget of almost 147 million euros for the year of 2025, yet for this year it was increased for almost 20 million and it will be 166 million euros. Because there was the budget during COVID years that was not used or absorbed by the program, and basically now we have the leftovers. So they're using these leftovers and they're adding for next year. I must say this is great news because last year for us in Synergy Bulgaria in Bulgaria was the first time ever that the budget for individual volunteering was cut. It never happened in the last 8 years, but in 2024, when we requested individual volunteering of 6 people, because we have accreditation of 6 people, for the period of 10 months, we got the budget only for 3, and our team volunteering activities were also cut 50%. So really the budget of requested and granted, the difference was 50%, and it was quite frustrating. So I can expect that this year the numbers will be better and we can get the numbers that are more realistic to us and more desirable to us. So this is good news. Another thing is that the focus stays with providing relief to people fleeing the Russian war in Ukraine. I will make a note here. Also, Russia and Belarus, they can still participate in the program, and young people from those countries, they can come as volunteers. Still, no mobilities in 2025 are allowed to be hosted in these countries. So in this way, program says, yes, as a part of solidarity and youth participation, we are ready to support young people, yet we are not ready to put the mobilities in those countries. Another piece of news, I feel like it's blitz today, short news, but a lot of details, that web forms are open. While the guide was launched 2 days ago and the forms were still not available, now if you go to the website, to the web gate, you will see that the forms are open, the forms for volunteering, solidarity projects with the first deadline on February 20th, and the form for quality label. By the way, when it comes to quality label, for those of you who are new to the program, you can apply for quality label, first of all, in 3 roles, as a host organization, as a support organization, and as a lead organization. Only lead organization has a right to apply for funding directly, so to request funding directly. There is an ongoing procedure, but there is also a deadline on 31st of October. What this deadline practically means? If you want to apply for funding at the beginning of the year, so for example on 20th of February, you must get a quality label before that. In order to receive quality label in time, you need to submit your application maximum with a deadline of 31st of October. Because the procedure takes several weeks for it to be granted, and the guide states only organizations who applied up to the end of October will with guarantee be able to apply for funding. It might depend on the national agency, and could be that some national agencies they request less time. I know that Dutch national agencies they make an assumption that they can still grant the forms if they're submitted now, and the organizations, if they're very fast to submit their quality label applications for lead organizations now, they can apply in February. Still, here there is no guarantee. If you apply before 31st of October, there is a guarantee. It is provided by the program. So don't postpone it. If in 2026, you want to have access to funding directly, make sure you have quality label for lead organizations. Okay. Next thing, what they mention in the new guide is a youth participation strategy, and it's a new document which basically builds up on the experience from the previous years and gives recommendations, shares success stories. And the whole idea is to improve the quality of youth participation in European Solidarity Corps. For us as organizations, I mean, it doesn't bring any change. I mentioned here just to emphasize that this part of youth participation, yeah, it gets more and more focused. So it might be a good idea to rely on this document while crafting your application form or writing solidarity project. Volunteering projects. So first thing, as I mentioned, you cannot host volunteering mobility in Russia, Belarus, or send your volunteers there. There is a thing which is not new in 2025, but I find it extremely important. And this is what I observed in 2024 and where you can get yourself in trouble. So the program started to promote European Solidarity Corps portal more and more. There is no strict requirement that you must get volunteers only from there, and you cannot promote your volunteering opportunities through newsletter or social media of organizations or Facebook. Still, all applicants must be registered there, and then there is an official procedure of sending an offer, accepting an offer, yeah, and then from there information is imported to the mobility tool. What is important? In 2024, the rules changed drastically, that one young person, an individual, can participate in any kind of volunteering programs up to 12 months in total. Why it is different? Because previously they were saying individual volunteering can last up to 12 months, and for those who had short-term individual volunteering up to 2 months and afterwards individual volunteering on 12 months, it could have been extended to 14 months. Still, any person could participate in team volunteering as many times as possible, because team volunteering is a different context and it lasts also up to 2 months. Now this is over. Now young person in individual short-term or long-term or team volunteering, yeah, in all these actions can participate up to 12 months, including past participation in EDS program. So why I'm saying it here? First, a lot of young people don't know this rule. Second, could be that some young people don't count their months. Third, maybe some people don't say to their hosting organization that they already had exceeded this limit. In this case, you cannot send them an offer. The system automatically calculates all their past participation, and simply they are not allowed to do so. You cannot enroll them. So if it happened by some reason that first you had your mobility and then you started to enroll people in the system, you will see that simply to this person you cannot send an offer, meaning you cannot reward this person, meaning you're losing the ground that you spent on this person. So here it is very careful, yeah, and do everything in time, like all the preparation, all the enrolling, do it before the project starts so that you have enough time to react. And it's also a good idea to emphasize for young people that the maximum participation is up to 12 months, so that they don't even apply, yeah, if they already had their volunteering activities for 12 months. A huge change in high priority areas that might impact some of you is that compared to 2024 and to 2023, only organizations that are holding quality label for lead organizations can apply on behalf of consortium to Brussels. Let me remind you, so high priority areas, team volunteering in high priority areas is a centralized program. There is one deadline per year. It is applied straight to Brussels. Every year it has its own priorities, and it requires a consortium of minimum, I think, 3 organizations, and there should be at least one volunteering activity inside. So if previously it was following still the rules that, yeah, you can be a host organization or a support organization and apply, now this time is over. Now you need to have a quality label for lead organizations. So if previously you were participating in this program by using your status of host or support organization, then unfortunately in 2025, for the first deadline, you will not have this chance. Yeah, so for these organizations, apply for quality label as soon as possible so that you don't miss the next deadline in 2026. Also, in high priority areas, they have 3 priorities for this year. So 2 priorities from previous year stayed. It supports basically learning like learning opportunities for young people with fewer opportunities and around inclusion. I don't remember the exact phrasing. And the second one was a relief of people escaping from armed conflict. These two priorities stay, but there is a third one, promoting waste management and recycling solutions. I think it's self-understandable what they mean and where it comes from. Still, this is a new topic that you can submit your applications with. Okay, solidarity projects. Per se, there are no changes, but two things from my experience that I want to point out because I think they might save you again some time or open new opportunities. First, solidarity projects. Previously, if you had international volunteers who were long-term volunteers, they still could apply for solidarity project during your stay in your country. So it was allowed. And to tell the truth, first time we applied, because in total we got solidarity projects 3 times approved and implemented in Synergy. Now we are waiting for the result of the fourth one. So when I first contacted national agency, and it was a new action solidarity project, no one knew what it is. Then I was talking to them, and they said, yeah, you need at least 5 people. And actually, you can use your long-term volunteers. And this is how we were doing it. Every year we were including some people from the community, some long-term volunteers, because of course they're involved in local actions that Synergy is doing. From last year, it was not possible anymore. So they made a new rule. When a young person is enrolled in a volunteering activity, like an individual or team volunteering, they cannot, during this time, be enrolled in Solidarity project. So simply, we cannot add their PRN because at this moment they are engaged in different activity. So here, be careful, times changed. Yeah, don't rely on including your volunteers in these actions, even if they're going to support during local activities. Another thing I didn't notice last year, but it's a good addition, that solidarity projects are mostly local actions, so they solve local challenge. But also there is an option for cross-border activity if these are 2 neighboring countries. For example, it can be between Bulgaria and Greece, and if there are 2 cities that are close to the border, they have similar challenges, yeah, then young people can create a project and implement it. What they added is that third countries not associated to the program can be included. Previously, solidarity projects, they were exclusively for program countries. Yes, now they also included basically partner countries if we talk in Erasmus Plus terms. So, for example, Ukraine can do it with Poland, or Romania can do it with Moldova, and which is very nice, and it opens new opportunities, you know, for countries that are not a part of European Union. Okay, let's see. Okay, one small thing about quality label. There is an addition that quality label will be monitored / reassessed at least once during the program period until December 2027. So if previously they were saying that it might be checked, it might be reassessed while holding it, now they put it as a procedure that all quality labels will be checked at least once. So it could be we all should expect a check in 2025. Also, they are back to European Youth Card or European Volunteer Card. I remember that several years ago there was this card with a lot of discounts for volunteers, and the idea is that it gives discounts, it helps young people to integrate better into local communities by using the opportunities at discounted rate, or travel and then using these discounts during traveling. So at some moment it was just stopped. They relaunched it, they made a special paragraph in the guides, they introduced the website, and what they say is that it is valid for 18 months during the volunteering and after the volunteering, and it doesn't matter how long your volunteering is. So basically, even if you are coming for a shorter period, I mean, self-understandable because no one can volunteer for 18 months. Now we know that it's maximum 12 months. Then a young person can still enjoy the discounts. Today, together with our volunteers, we already took a look at the website, and they really have some very nice discounts. So every young person can receive this card in a digital form, and basically this is the role of a host organization to enroll them. And the last thing from my side is usage of AI tools, or ChatGPT as we all know. I'm pretty sure there is also guidelines. There are also guidelines about it in Erasmus Plus guide, but actually I never checked it, so I will write about it in the comments if later on I find them. But I definitely saw them in European Solidarity Corps guide. Basically, I will give you my short summary. What they say is that it's okay, you can use AI tools, but be very conscious that you are, like, that you bear all the responsibility for the content produced by AI. Also be aware that AI can produce the parts of someone else's work or can generate something very abstract, and then it can cause duplication and it can cause basically repetition of the text, and your work might be found not original, or it might break authorship. So basically, what is my takeaway from it is using ChatGPT is fine as long as you don't use it like create me the objectives of Solidarity Project, or like what are the supporting tools in volunteering projects, and then it generates like very general guidelines, and then if you put these guidelines in any project, or several people do it in Europe with a similar prompt, it will generate the same text, and this text can be applied to anything. It's more about really knowing your context and then feeding very much about your organization and how you work, and then having it as a tool to structure it and to make it more concise. This I can understand, because in this case it will be very specific, it will be very original, and it can apply only to your organization. So for this, we don't know yet how much they're going to track and what systems they're going to monitor it. Could be when we have webinars from national agencies, we can ask these questions. But still, just be aware that in 2025, they will be more concerned about just generating abstract texts for your application forms. I hope this was useful for you. If yes, share it with your colleagues. Also drop a comment which of these updates that I mentioned today you find most important for the work of your organization. And yeah, if any questions left or you noticed any other changes that I didn't mention in this video, then please drop them in comments, because of course the more of us can contribute to it, the better. I'm not the solo authority to see all the changes, to spot all the changes and interpret them. Your interpretations are very welcome. So drop them in comments, and then see you in the next video. Ciao.